All right, 317 is where we are. But we have a test first. Pamela. See, I was really meant this. Pamela, could you give me a Hebrew preposition?
Not.
What?
Not.
Okay, how is it spelled?
For Hebrew, love, like.
Law, but that's not a preposition.
Not preposition.
That is an adverb of negation. All right, how about a Greek or Hebrew preposition? Brother Abe, Hebrew preposition. Usually they're on the front of a word.
Law.
What?
Law. Lamet.
Lamet, that's right, lamet, that means what? What does
Auto.
what does it mean? What case is it in?
Case.
Yeah, what case is it in?
Dative.
Dative, absolutely. 2 or 4, dative case, all right. And what would be the Greek equivalent, Brother Roger? How about that?
Meta.
Meta. All right. Now, there's all kinds of contractions with meta, isn't there? We even turn that one into a tau, into a theta sometimes. All right. So meta and lament. Now, let's look at another one, Sharon. What is another Greek preposition?
A Greek?
I mean a Hebrew.
That's not good.
Hebrew preposition.
Preposition.
Uh-huh.
Preposition.
On the front of them.
Um,
I'll give you a clue. Bought a sheets.
no.
What?
Bathe.
Bathe. Okay. Now, what is the Greek equivalent of that, Marilyn? Bathe. And that means in. And what case is that in? Usually, what case is it in? What case is that in? Girls and boys? What case is bathe in? What case would it be in, Brother Abe? In.
Ablative.
No.
In. Dative.
No. It's in that group. In is in the location, which is what? Locative. All right. Now, what is the Greek equivalent of bathe? Sharon?
In.
Thank you very much. A plus. N. All right. So we got this one. Now, let's think about another Hebrew preposition. Another Hebrew preposition. All right? Another Hebrew preposition.
I can do one. Mem.
Mem. Okay. There it is, man. And that means what?
It's from.
From. What case would that be in?
Ablative.
Ablative. Okay, what is the Greek equivalent of it? So, I mean, you're having to think now, aren't you? We don't have anything to cross over, do we?
Right.
Sharon? Man? What would be the Greek equivalent of man? It means from. You got it.
It's not working.
Okay. Marilyn. Apostle. That Greek preposition is an apostle. What is it? Pamela. Apostle. What Greek preposition is an apostle? Greek apostle is made up of 2 words, a preposition and a verb. Marilyn.
I'm trying to think. Let me ask.
Okay. Brother Abe. Does that give your memory?
Apple?
Apo. Apo. Okay. Now there's a whole lot more Greek prepositions than there are Hebrew prepositions, but this is just some of them, okay? Just give you an idea, and we're cross-referencing from Hebrew, English, and into Greek, and we know what case it's in. This is in the operative case. This is in the locative case. This is in the dative case. Okay? And how many cases are there in Greek? In Koine and Classical Greek, how many cases? How many cases are there in Sanskrit? Who knows? Marilyn? How many cases are in Sanskrit?
I don't know.
How about Pamela? How many cases are in Sanskrit?
Is there
8. That's right. You got 8. 8. Sanskrit has 8 cases in it, okay? Now, who can name all 8 cases? Case of the subject. Nominative. Ablative. Nominative, genitive, ablative, locative, instrumental, dative, accusative, and vocative. What is the vocative case, Brother Roger? That is a case of what?
It happens, right?
No.
No.
The case of address. When you're addressing somebody, that's in the vocative case. Okay? In the vocative. That is our little grammar beginning tonight. A little bit of grammar, okay? Just a little bit. Did that help you? Does that help you through the different languages somewhat? All right. No, yes, yeah, no.
Eventually,
See, I don't know.
eventually I'll know.
All right. But I hope that I'm helping you with this stuff. I hope that you're understanding the languages. You can't understand, put your real big ears on. You cannot thoroughly understand the Bible theologically, perfectly, and let it speak to you. You can take your preconceived ideas and what your teachers have taught you. But if you take the Bible, it's going to change your theology. And you can't do that in English. It must be in Greek and Hebrew. You must go back to the source. Go back to the source. If you read the old commentaries, like Kyle and Delish, some of these, the Old Testament commentaries, you're going to have to know Greek. You're going to have to know some German. You're going to have to know some Latin to be able to read those. You must know that.
Are they watering it down just for consumption so that people won't get all...
Instant potatoes. TV dinners. Most of the sermons today are psychological sessions, not sermons. You preach the Bible. The Bible. How do you build churches? You preach the Bible. How do you build church members? You preach the Bible. How do you make sure somebody is doctrinally sound? You preach the Bible. Preach the Bible. Now, I've got that book that I wrote on the doctrine of the Bible. We go through there, but we go through every doctrine, and we look at it from the Scriptures. Okay? All right, let's go here, and we will look at some of these things. Now, you know what a preposition is now. A preposition is it is a helper for verbs and nouns. It's a helper. It gives you the idea of the action. Okay? The idea of the action. All right. Yule Adam. 3:17. Yule Adam. Amar. Ki Shamata. Liko. Ishteka. What to call? Men. Ha'etz. Asher. Siv. Siv. I'll get it right in a minute. This is a hard word to say. Sivwetika. See, it starts with a TS sound. Now, the modern Hebrew would say what there, Brother Roger? Huh? Sa. Okay. And then lemor. Lo. Takal. Memenu. Memenu. Arura. Ha-adama. Ba-vurika. Be-ets-von. Let's go back and look at some of this now. Yuli Adam. Case. What case is that in? Yuli Adam. What do we have here? Break that word Yule Adam down. The first syllable on the front part of it, the first letter is what?
Conjunction.
A conjunction. Page 253. All right. And then we have a what?
Preposition.
Preposition. Page 515. And this all goes back to Brown, Driver, and Briggs. And then Adam. Adam. What is Adam? Pamela? Adam. Who is this guy?
Adam.
Adam. What's the root of that, Sharon?
Dom.
Dom, which means red or blood. Okay? So we hear her. And to Adam. Look at that. Conjunction.
Where are we?
Pre-
I'm-
Yule Adam. 317a.
Oh, and
Okay.
being I was not finding any of this.
Okay. Yule Adam.
You let it go.
And to Adam. Amor. Amor. Okay? And this here, conjugate that for me, Sharon.
Third person masculine singular cow, perfect.
Boy, did you hear how she did that? Now, Brother Roger, you translate that for me correctly.
He, by himself, said,
Perfect tense. How would you translate perfect tense?
he had said.
He had said. He had said. Third person masculine singular is he. And had said because it's perfect tense. And it's cal stem. And that means it's active voice, doesn't it? All right. And then we have this little word key. Key is also a preposition. All right. Page 473. Because. And here, this word key here has the idea, is a conjunctive preposition. You know, it's kind of a combination. Key. And then shamata. Shamata. What is the root of this, and what is the name for the root of this, Marilyn? What is the name that is used out of this verb? Pamela. Sharon.
Well, the root would be, it's a shammer to listen to hear
Yeah. So we have the name
of Simon.
Simeon or Simon. Thank you very much. You're just getting rolling A pluses tonight. I told you we were going to do that.
And that's what, Deuteronomy 4 or 6 or
Yeah.
something like
Hear,
that?
O Israel, the Lord our God is one. Okay, and what is that called, Brother Roger, in the modern?
The Shema.
The Shema. Okay.
I can tell you what Simon means.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's it. That was Simon. All right. Simon, Simeon, all of those names come from there. Okay. Shamata. Now we have here Brother Abe. Could you conjugate that verb for me there? Please, shamata.
Second person, masculine singular car, perfect.
All right. Translate it for me now correctly. It's you.
You have listened?
You have listened. Very good. You have listened. It's perfect tense. All right. Active voice. Okay. You have listened. And to Adam he said, because you have listened, likal. Now tell me a little bit about this verb here, Pamela. What's on the front of that verb? Huh? I'm not verb, but what's on the front of this noun? And what case is it in? All right. See, we're getting difficult now. We're learning languages. I had to get you guys up to this point. It took a lot of training, about 2 or 3 years of training to get you where I can get you here. Yes, Pamela?
David?
Dative case. All right. And what's on the front of that word? This is a compound word, isn't it? What's on the front of that, Brother Roger?
Preposition.
Preposition.
Lamed,
Lamet.
to,
All right. 2 or 4. Okay.
and
What? Now, wait a minute. What would be the Greek equivalent? It's not meta. Greek's got a lot of prepositions, don't they? How about that one? Pros. Pros. Okay? Pros. Are you having fun with this or not? Am I boring you?
wait, so,
Making you think. Yes.
so it's pros,
Pros. Here it would be pros. It can be meta in different places because Greek has such a definite, defined language. It has different prepositions. We only have a few prepositions in Hebrew, but we got lots of them in Greek. Okay?
But the noun is in dative?
The noun is in what? Dative case.
Okay.
Okay? So we have to the sound, and then ishtika. Tell me about ishtika, Brother Abe. What's the root of that word?
Isha.
Isha. Thank you very much. Isha. A double shin, isn't it? Isha. All right? Ishtika. Why do we have the tika on the end of that, Brother Roger? What case is this in?
Okay, so it's ownership.
Okay, what case is it in?
Ablative?
Huh? No.
Genitive.
Genitive. It's genitive case. Why? Because it shows possession, doesn't it? It shows possession. Operative shows what?
Obviously.
Case of origin.
Okay.
Okay. We have, now there are people that say that the Koine Greek only has 5 cases. Don't believe it. Koine Greek has 8 cases. Classical Greek has 8 cases. Sanskrit have 8 cases. All of these old languages have 8 cases. Okay? The voice of your wife, the voice belonging to your wife, if you really wanted to put it, the voice belonging to your wife. And then here we have watikal. Watikal. Let's look at this watikal there now. How are we going to conjugate that, Pamela?
Second person, masculine singular, Carol, Walter said that, you can take it.
Boy, that's really good. You girls and boys are just getting right with it. I am so proud of you. I would have to give you A+ on this test you've had tonight. And I'd say you were at least a 5th-year Hebrew student. How do you like that?
Oy vey.
Huh? And not doing too bad. You're 5th-year Greek, too. All right, because you're over there now. You're getting up there. Now you're becoming theologians. All right? If you can get your theology wrapped around your Greek and Hebrew, you'll be theologians. All right, now let's translate that, Sharon. What to call?
You kept on eating.
You kept on eating. All right? Because of the wife, you kept on eating. Now we have a Greek preposition there, which is man. And what is the Hebrew preposition man, what is the Greek equivalent to that, Marilyn?
What was that word?
What's the Greek equivalent to this Hebrew preposition, which is men?
Mem?
Men. Men. What?
Spell it.
It's men. It's mem and neen. This is it right here, someplace. It's on the board, fellers.
Apple?
Oppo. All right. Oppo. And what case is that in? Ablative case. All right. And then now let's look at the word ha'etz. 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 Tell me about ha'etz, Marilyn. What's on the front of that word? Ha. Ha'etz. Pamela? What's on the front of that word? Brother Abe. Brother Abe, what's on the front of this word ha'etz? It's a compound word. Brother Roger.
So you're looking at a hay.
Yeah, he, which is a what?
Word.
What? And tell me in Greek what part of speech that is.
To
To aristikon arthron. That's the
To
Greek
aristikon.
term. Okay, to aristikon arthron. Okay, or ho aristikon arthron. Ho aristikos arthros. Okay, so it's a definite article. That means it's a the. This is a the. All right, and then etz means what? Tree. All right, tree. That's real good. All right.
They ate the tree.
Etz. They etz the tree. They et the tree. They et the etz. Okay. Asher. Asher. Tell me about Asher. That's on page 81 in Brown, Driver, and Briggs, by the way. What is this asher, Brother Roger?
The word means which, and it's a particle of relation.
Particle of a relation, also known as a relative particle. Okay? And then how about siwitika? Siwitika. How is that one? What is that thing? Let's conjugate that one. First person construct singular, PL perfect. What kind of a verb stem is PL there, Roger?
It's with great force.
With great force. Would you mind with great force go over there and punch that air conditioner, please? PL stem with great force. It's going to be 100 degrees in here if we don't watch out. First person construct singular, so it means I, huh? I have intensely commanded. I have intensely commanded lemor. Lemor. What's lemor mean? Lemor. What?
Saying with human.
Saying, all right? Or literally, it's cal infinitive construct, so actually saying is the idea of it, but literally translated. It's not saying, but what? What is it, actually? Literally.
To say.
To say. To say, to say, to say, to say, which kind of has the idea of saying in it. But saying is a gerund in English, and it's a participle in it. Here, it literally, if you translate it correctly, is going to be to say. All right? From the tree I've commanded you to say. Now we have an adverb of negation there, Pamela. The adverb of negation? Okay, that's lo. That's an adverb of negation, page 518. Now give me the Greek equivalent of this adverb of negation. Remember, it changes a lot. All right? Here we have lo. And the Greek equivalent would be what, Brother Roger?
Ook.
Ook. It could be ook, oo, or ooks. All right? According to how it's used in the sentence, according to the syntax. Syntax is not a tax on sin, but it's according to the sentence. Okay? All right. To call, to call, to call. What about this to call? Roger, tell me about it. Conjugate that to call.
Okay. The shorish is akal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's second person masculine singular, so it would be addressed to you.
Uh-huh.
Cal is imperfect. Is
That's active voice.
You shall eat and keep on eating.
Okay. Not you shall eat and keep on eating. You shall keep on not doing this. You shall keep on not doing this. Okay? And then memenu. Memenu. Let's look at that one. Memenu. Look at that compound word. Tell me a little bit about it, Brother Roger.
Well,
We got a preposition there, don't we?
right.
What case is it in? What case is it in? What?
Apo.
Oblative.
Oblative.
Oblative case. Okay. The Greek equivalent would be ako, wouldn't it? Okay. Memenu. Okay. And we have this preposition, and we have a suffix to it. All right. The suffix is third person masculine singular, and what else about it? What case is that in? We've got a double case here now. We've got two cases in one word. It means from him, but what else? From him, belonging to him. From that which was belonging to him. Do you understand that? From that which was belonging to him. So we have ablative case, but we also have the genitive ending, don't we? That which belongs to him. Arura. Arura. Look at that. That sounds bad, doesn't it? That sounds bad. I remember when they elected Barack Obama president, they said Barack means evil, and Barack means curse, not a blessing. What does Barack mean, Brother Roger?
Blessing.
It means a blessing. Okay. Now, what does mean curse? What are you used for curse?
Not this one.
This one right here. This is the one. Okay. This is to curse. And look and see what this says. Pam, Sharon, can you conjugate that baby for me? Now, you out there in radio land and internet land and world, you can do this if you'll hang around for a while. Don't let it scare you off. Feminine singular,
Feminine singular, cal perfect.
participle. Feminine singular, cal perfect participle. So how would this? From him, all right? She is, has been cursed. Has been cursing. Has been continually cursing. All right? Has been cursed. Literally cursing. Has been cursing.
How can I pronounce this?
What?
How can I pronounce this word? Has been cursing.
Okay, say that again real slow.
How can I pronounce?
How do you pronounce
How
it?
can I say, yeah.
Oh, how do you say it? Arura. 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 Say it together, and you roll the R just a little bit. Arura. All right? Arura. Okay? Arura. All right? She has been cursing. She has been cursing the ground. Look at that. Ha-adamah. Ha-adamah. See, it's got the same root as Adam, doesn't it? Because the ground is made from the same elements that man is made from. Man is made from the same elements as the ground. Man did not come from the ground, but man will go to the ground. Man is the primary creation of God, but he will go to the ground. And his body will reconstitute the ground and feed us. The earth feeds us. All right? Ha-adamah. The ground. Ha on the front of that is a definite article. And then ba'avarika. Ba'avarika. Look at that. Ba'avarika. Preposition on the front of that, isn't it? And this idea of this preposition on the front of it is kind of like a causative. All right? Because in or upon or in your deficit, in your account, all right? Because you have crossed over, okay? Because you have violated, there is a great debt you owe now. You owe a great debt. You owe a great debt to the earth. And the earth now is not going to produce for you. The earth now is going to be cursed because of you, having been cursing the earth. Because of what you did, you have become a person that has been cursing the earth. Because of your deficit, you've gone across, and for the sake of you, or because of you, all right, the earth has been cursed. Quite a word. And then let's look at the next word. Be'etzvom. 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 What about that word there, Brother Roger?
It starts
What
with-
is that? What case is that in?
Okay.
What case is it in? You're getting it. The locative case. I'll help you. This is the locative case. That's Baith on the front of that, isn't it, Sharon? Okay, so that means in, doesn't it? Okay. Now let's look at this. What is this word mean? What is the root of this word here? What is it? The root of that word is labor and toil and misery. Okay? Labor, toil, and misery. And 1 Corinthians 15, the last part of that chapter there, it brings this out to some extent. Get over here and 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. Let's go there real quick if you have a hekinai diatheke. 1 Corinthians 15. All right. And verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast and immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your beatings, How many of you ever gone out into a hard labor out in the yard and just felt like you have been beat when you got back in the house? Beat up by your job. That's what it is. The world beats us up every day, doesn't it? Your beatings are not in vain in the Lord. And that's what this is. This is where this beatings there. That's beatings. Okay? Now let's go over here in Greek. And let me read the Greek to you. 3:17 in Greek. To de Adam, epen, hote, akousos, tes, phones, tes gynakos, si, kai, ephages, apo, tu, zulu, u, ene telemain, sui, tuto. No, I think that starts on the next one. It doesn't show where it ends here. Yeah. Let's go right there. And to Adam he said, because you have listened, akuo. That's where it comes. You have listened from the voice of your woman, genakos, of you, belonging to you, and you ate from the tree of which I charged you, saying, this alone you, not you, and that's not there is may, a particle of negation. It's an adverb in Greek, Hebrew, and they brought it over to a particle over here. They actually should have put an adverb in there, which would be what? It's not may, but what? Uk. Okay, so they translated that incorrectly in the Septuagint. See, you guys are getting smart enough to do that, aren't you? There aren't very many people that go along with the Septuagint and correct it from Hebrew. Okay? To eat, phagain, from him. And you ate. And you down cursed the land in your works, in the works of you, in tois ergois, too. In distress, in lipes, in distress, you shall eat of her all the days of the life of you. I got to read that. I was reading that in Greek and translated in my head at the same time. I didn't read it to you in Greek. I just realized that. Epikatarotos, gay, and tois ergois, su, and lipes, phage, aute, pasos, tas, hemeros, tes, zoes, su, and to eat from him you cursed the land in among the works of you, and in extreme distress you shall eat of her all the days of your life, the life belonging to you. The life belonging to you. Is that helping you any? No? Yeah? All right. Let's go on here. Cursing from the ground your relative. And because of you, in your labor and in your hard labor and toil and misery, you shall eat of her. Second person masculine, senior, cal, imperfect. You shall keep on eating of her. All call as all of Ye may all days, not the days, but all days, because there's no the in there, of the life of your living, all the days of your living.
I just noticed something.
Yes,
Okay, God is saying the ground is cursed because of their disobedience.
that's right.
But it's like Adam cursed the ground.
That's right.
God didn't curse
God
it.
did not curse the ground.
I've always thought God cursed
No,
the ground.
Adam cursed the ground.
I just
That's
got
different.
I just
That
got
that now, how about it? Is that a revelation to any of you others?
Yeah, say some more about it.
God did not curse the ground. Who cursed the ground?
Was it when the murder took place?
Adam's sin and rebellion cursed the ground.
Okay.
The ground is cursed because of him. The ground is cursed because of him. How do you like that? God didn't curse the ground. Adam cursed the ground. Adam cursed the ground. He cursed his relative. That's what it says there. He cursed his relative because of his actions. He cursed his relative. 3:18 now.
That's, my mind is getting that.
Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice?
Because I thought God cursed the ground in punishment of their disobedience.
Look up there.
But he didn't. He wanted them to avoid this curse.
That's right. He wanted them to avoid this curse.
That's why he told
Gave
not
them
to-
rules.
Yeah.
Rules are good for you, aren't they?
He wanted to protect them from.
That's right.
Okay, who laid down the rules? Who you shall,
God laid down a rule. He said, that edict that I gave you, you shall not eat her. You shall keep on not eating of that tree.
yeah.
So man broke the rules. And woman. Both of them did.
But in that,
But the woman did it.
she was deceived.
She was deceived. The man was not deceived, was he? Why did he do it?
It tasted good.
Because he wanted to. And he knew better. He wanted to, and he knew better. But he did it anyway. Okay, Marilyn, you had something to say?
Thanks for catching that.
Yeah.
The other way around.
Yeah, because I'm going like, wait a minute, where's
Yeah.
that?
That's right. I had it written on the page.
No,
Look back in there. What's written on the page?
I didn't.
All right. From him, you intentionally, she has been intentionally cursed the ground, your relative, because of you.
Because,
It didn't come from God. The cursing came from man.
yeah, but
It's her
man
fault.
cursed the ground.
Man cursed the ground. The sin of man cursed the ground. All right? The sin of man cursed the ground. God did not curse the ground. Man dealt death to himself. God didn't kill him. God didn't begin the process of him because the man sinned. He began the process of degeneration right there. Man begins the process of degeneration. His body degenerates right there. That's the case of degeneration because evil, man became evil. Man became wicked, man became deceitful, man became deceptive, man became a thief, man became a liar, man became a murderer, and passed it on to all his children. The infection of sin was passed on to his children right here. All the sperm in his body, all the eggs in the woman. Now, the eggs in the woman remained what? Sinless.
Or they couldn't pass it.
But they couldn't have life without the man.
They didn't.
Okay? But when they have the man's life in them, then each egg, each person, individual, and the woman probably had at least one. Eve, her name wasn't Eve yet. It was Isha, woman, out of man. But every egg in her bosom, in her womb, would become cursed when it was united with Adam's sperm. Because Adam's sperm would curse them all. And we are recipients of that curse. One thing about it, women can say that we did not pass any sin nature on to the child. Though that's not saying women are sinful.
Because they got it from their dad.
Yeah, because they got it from their dad. But they cannot pass the sin nature on the child. That comes from the father. That's the infection. As in one blood we are all alive. As in one blood we all die. Okay? And the infection from that, what we call virus, that horrible virus that we're infected with. Now, all viruses and bacteria that damage, are there good bacteria? Yes, there's good bacteria. You need good bacteria. But there's bad bacteria and bad viruses, and those are fallen, mutated forms of sin that were passed from one to the other. You know that there's DNA passed on from the father and the mother that affects the child? Whether you got blue eyes or red hair or brown eyes and black hair or whatever. What you eat. What you eat. Your DNA affects that. What you eat. All right? There was an old man that used to say all the time to me, a doctor, when I was going to medical school, he said, "You are what you eat. You are what you eat, and you are what you are." And that doesn't really have anything to do with you. What did you do to bring yourself in the world, Sharon?
Yeah,
Absolutely nothing. All right.
I was a twinkle in my eye.
We covets. We covets. All right? We dardar.
We are not.
Ta tits miach.
Yeah.
Lach. We a chal ta et esev ha sedeh. All right. Boy, this is we have this curse. If you go out to 15313 Gosford Road, you'll see this curse in action. Yeah, what do you think? And thorns. And thorns. And thorns. Look it over here in the Greek for just a moment. Akanthos. Akanthos. What English word do we have from akanthos? Marilyn, what kind of a plant's called a akanthos?
A tonto?
Uh-huh. Akanthos.
You talking about thorns?
Yeah. Now we call these thorn plants. They're succulents, and they are cacti. But these not only are cacti, can you imagine cactus without thorns on it? How nice that would be. How many of you ever eaten cactus?
Nepalese.
Nepalese, yeah. That's good, isn't it? Tastes good.
Real good.
Yeah. But they take them and they cook them on a fire to burn all the thorns off of them to begin with. How would you like to have cactus without thorns? Because that's what they were. How many of you have ever eaten cactus fruit? Is it good?
I've never
Boy,
had.
sweet. Marilyn?
I have eaten cactus candy.
Yes, cactus candy. You have to burn the thorns off of all of this stuff. They take them and they stick them on a skewer and burn all the thorns off of it. Eat it with thorns. Not possible. Unless you got a bird with a long beak. And thorns. What's on the front of this word? Wi on the front of it there. What's that, Sharon?
Well, it's an and so it's a conjunction.
It's a conjunction. All right. Little conjunction, page 253 if you want to write it down there. And this is another one. Here we have thorns now, these thorny things. And now we have we dardar. We dardar. What's a dardar? A dardar.
Weeds.
Huh?
Weeds.
Weeds. Brambles. The first one there, we could put cacti in that thing. And this is an edible plant. You could even put flowers in there that have thorns on them. What kind of flowers have thorns? Roses. Okay. And now we have brambles, we have weeds, we have thistles. And what is a thistle? What's a thistle? Huh?
Like an artichoke?
Yeah, that's a thistle. All right. But
Stinging nettle.
a stinging nettle. Stinging nettle. a stinging nettle. How about even the inside of a leaf of a fig tree? Those can really work you over too. And that's what they made to cover themselves up with. Brambles, thistles, Johnson's grass, sandburrs, cockleburrs, crabgrass, poison ivy, poison oak, sumac. Stick you, sting you, or bite you. Stick you, sting you, or bite you. I remember this song one time, the devil made hell. Made himself a hell. And he goes on, and finally at the end of the song he says, a man has to sit down with soles on his pants, or else he'll get bit, stung, or bit. He said, the devil put rattlesnakes under every rock, and tarantulas, and centipedes, and scorpions. If it doesn't sting you, bite you, or poke you. And that's Texas. He said, all right. Tatse miach. All right, tatse miach. Let's look at that one. How about that one, Brother Roger? Tell me a little bit about this verb. Conjugate it for me, please.
Third person feminine singular.
Third person feminine singular.
Imperfect.
Imperfect tense. It's hithel, isn't it? All right. And she shall keep on being caused to sprout. All right. She shall keep on being caused to sprout. All right. That comes from tismach. See that root down there, page 855. And then lock. Lock. What about lock, Brother Roger?
It's a form of to walk. I think.
That's like a preposition with a suffix, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, a preposition with a suffix. What's the suffix? Tell me what case it's in. Preposition on the front of it. It's kind of genitive on the back of it, isn't it? To belonging to you. To belonging to you. In other words, unto yours. All right? Unto yours, literally. Unto yours things. You shall eat. All right? Ye shall eat. Second person, masculine singular, cal, vowel, consecutive, perfect. You shall have eaten. Okay? And et, sign of direct object. What is the sign of direct object in Greek? Ace. Tell me the grammatical rule of ace in Greek. Grammatical rule of ace, Brother Roger.
Extension or limitation of thought or verbal action.
Extension or limitation of thought or verbal action. And then we have the word esev there. Esev. What is esev? Marilyn, what is esev? Esev. What's a herb?
What's an herb?
Yeah, what's in an herb? What kind of herbs do we have? What is an herb? In the Hebrew, an herb is anything you can eat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a medicine sometimes.
Sometimes a medicine. Celery. Celery is an herb.
Or
Rosemary. Bay leaves. Leaves off of bay trees. What else?
Garlic, onions.
What? Garlic, onions, all of these things. Okay.
mint,
Mint. These are all.
Mormon tea,
What?
Mormon tea.
Yeah.
That's what the Indians use.
Yeah. That's not Mormon tea. That's Indian tea, by the way. We had it long before the Mormons ever got over here. Herbs. All of these things. The herbs. All of the things you can eat. Grass. You can eat grass. What kind of grass do you eat?
Asparagus.
Asparagus. Asparagus is a grass. You can eat grass. Eat asparagus, huh? Asparagus is medicine too. It's a diuretic, isn't it?
Well, alfalfa is.
And alfalfa too. All right. All of these things are herbs. Okay. And hasidah. Hasidah. Of the field. What is this field here? This sidah. What does that mean there?
It's moist like a meadow.
A moist meadow, a meadowland. Beautiful. When I think of meadow, I think of one place that is so beautiful, and that is Wyman Canyon. You go up Wyman Canyon up there on the border of California and Nevada. You drive up this canyon, and all of a sudden the canyon opens up into a narrow place, and it is lush green. The whole valley is lush green all year long as there's sunlight. Deep grass like this, lush green, and out in that deep grass is a creek called Wyman Creek. And you can go in there and look at these little trout in there. That creek's about that wide, and some places sometimes as wide as the road. Sometimes the road is the creek. You go up this thing. I'm going to take you up there, Marilyn. And you'll see these fish all swimming around in there, all over the place. And you go up there to the headwaters of Wyman Creek where the water just comes out of the ground, and all there is wild herbs, which is called watercress. Wild salad. Okay? Now let's go to 319. 319. Let's see how much time we have around here. We got a few more minutes we can go. 319. Beziath, Apicha, Takal, Lakem, Ad, Shuvika, El, Ha'adma, Ki, Memana, Likal, Lika, Kika. Ki, afar, atal, we all, afar, teshuv. Let's see if that's the last one. Yep, that's all of that verse. All right, now here we have this. This is quite, all of us should be acquainted with this term today. I was in here this morning. Roger, you might want to go over there intensely in the PL stem and push that button one more time. We have a preposition on the front of this, don't we? That's bathe. All right, what would be the Greek equivalent to that bathe, Marilyn? Look right up here. In. The Greek equivalent to this would be in. In sweat is literally what it says, in sweat. All right, in sweat. It's hot in Bakersfield today. I know it's over 100 degrees, well over 100. I left here this morning. I preached here at 9:30. I went over there at Town and Country Baptist Church, and I walked in the house, and woof, it was hot. The air conditioner was out, and I'm in my wonderful suit up there. And, of course, it's up on the pulpit, and guess what's high? What rises? Heat. So I'm hotter than everybody else in the church house. I get up there and do it because that's my job, see. I'm going to work in the spread of my nostrils. And water was, I wiped my face 2 or 3 times because water kept trying to run off my nose. In sweat. Look at that one. Beziat. That is a TH on the end of it. Why is a TH on the end of it, Brother Roger?
Doesn't have a doggish.
It doesn't have a doggish in the middle of that towel there. So it's a et. Beziat. All right? Apicha. And this word, the root of this word is what, Brother Roger? Page 60, by the way.
Pene?
Huh? Pen.
Pen?
Pen. Which means what? Nose.
No.
Okay? Pene. Okay, it's apicha here, and it's apicha, it means the nostrils belonging to you. The nostrils belonging to you. And then the word is to call there, to call. And Sharon, would you conjugate that word to call there for me, please?
Second person, masculine, singular, cow, perfect.
Okay, now can you tell me what that means?
You shall eat and keep on eating.
You shall keep on eating. You shall keep on eating. In the sweat of your nostrils, you'll keep on eating. And most of the time it says by the sweat of your brow. Where is it? It's not your brow. Where is the sweat going? When you're bent over working, right off the end of your little noses. That's where it goes. I have sweat so hard at times, I was strangling on the sweat, running off the end of my nose. breathing so hard working that sucking in that sweat and choking on it.
Well, it goes in your eyes too.
Yeah, and in your eyes, burning your eyes. All of that salt.
Doesn't work.
It's not going to want to cooperate at all, huh? Well, we won't go much longer. Lechem. Lechem means what? Lechem. What? Food. Bethlehem means what, Marilyn? Bethlehem. Bethlehem. Bethlehem means what?
I think they have
Conjugated.
a lot of bakeries there.
Bethlehem, it comes from the, what's on the front of that word?
Beth is.
That's house, okay, and then what else?
Of food or eats.
Food. The house of much food. In other words, there's a lot of food there. This was a very productive place, Bethlehem was. Very productive place. When Boaz and Ruth were there, what were they doing out there? They were harvesting barley and wheat, okay, and they were laying in there, and then, of course, we have the story of this woman seducing this man. That's what it is, see. That's what happened right there. Ruth seduced Boaz, all right? See, there it just was a little slow at starting, Brother Roger.
Nice.
All right. Lahem, that means food. That means eats, okay? Odd, now we have a little, what do we have here? Until or as far as. That is a preposition or adverb of what? Time. 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 Okay. And then shuvika. Shuvika. Tell me about that one, Brother Roger. Shuvika.
Second person masculine singular cal infinitive. So,
Construct.
construct.
So this means what?
Until you turn into dirt.
Till you're turning. Till you're turning. Till you're turning. It doesn't say return there, does it? It says till you're turning. What are you going to turn into, Marilyn? What you going to turn into when you die?
Dust.
Dirt. Dirt. Till you turn to dirt. We didn't come from dirt, but we came from the same elements as the dirt. And we shall go to dirt, because that is the curse. Who cursed Adam? He cursed himself. The devil didn't make him do it. He did it because he wanted to. The devil seduced Eve and tricked her. He deceived her, but Adam was not deceived. You got that one, Brother Abe? Doesn't the Bible change the things here when you look at it from Hebrew? It just kind of changes your idea of things, doesn't it?
It makes it more of a story.
It tells you the story. It wasn't God doing all this bad stuff. Is God the author of evil? No. He's not the author of evil. Did he make, when he made Lucifer, was Lucifer bad? Did he have a capability of turning bad? Yes. When he made Adam, was he bad? Did he have the capability of turning? Now you have your superlapsarians believe that Adam was the only person in the human race that ever had a volition. Did you know that? That's what they say. What we call hyper-Calvinists, that no other man ever had volition, that you were either predetermined, elected, and foreordained to be what you are. But that would take away the sovereignty of man. When God made man, Genesis 1:26, he made him what? In his shadow-casting likeness, spiritual likeness, and his blood-flowing likeness, which is the likeness of the Son, and in his sovereign likeness, which is the likeness of the Father. He made him the likeness of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And the Father is sovereign. And we talk about the sovereignty of God. But does man have sovereignty? Why does man have sovereignty? Because he was made in the image of God. So you can't take away that sovereignty. You can't only give it to Adam. You've got to give it to every one of Adam's children, because every one of them came from Adam's sperm that was in him. All the way down, and they're all infected with that. We're all infected with it. Until you're to turn, literally is what it should be, you're to turn, or to your turning. L. What is this L here? What is that one? What does L mean here? It doesn't mean God, does it? L means here. What is this L, Brother Roger?
Is that a preposition?
That's a preposition. L is a preposition here. All right. What kind of a preposition would that be in Greek? Let me read this to you in Greek here for just a minute. Let's see if they did it correctly, okay? See, we're getting along here pretty good. We can tell whether they're doing something right or wrong, can't we? Verse number 19. In hydrote, in sweat, to, belonging to your face, prosopon, of you, su, that's genitive singular second person pronoun. You will eat the bread of you. Actually, it should be brophos. It means it's got our tone here, but we're not talking about bread alone, are we? We're talking about all kinds of food. Veggies, everything, all of it. Of you, eos, until, that's a little adverb of time right there, until, of the apostrepse, until from your turning. You, ace, tain, gain. Unto ace. Here we have the word ace there. Do you think that would be right? A correct translation of that? Unto, L. Here it would be, wouldn't it? Unto the earth. All right. Now let's look at this. Let's go on a little bit further. Turning to the earth. Because from her kind, from her species, you were taken. From her species, you were taken. What species? Basic elements. Where did this basic elements come from, Brother Roger?
All the creation.
Comes from God. God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, held the whole universe in solution in what we call liquid solution spiritual form in the Godhead. And when Jesus spoke it into existence, it exploded forth from him. And what do you do when you mix something up in chemistry, in physical science? What does it happen when you saturate it? What happens? It takes crystal form. It crystallizes, doesn't it? And you see these crystal forms when it is saturated. God held all of the universe in himself saturated, and he spit it forth, and it crystallized into what we see. And God held man in that form. He had spoken the universe into existence, and he formed it just exactly like he did Genesis 4. Barashith bara Elohim eth hashemayim we et haaretz. And God, and created God the heavens and the earth. That's it. That's the physical universe right there. How long ago was this happen? How long ago did this happen? Do we have any idea how long ago that was? No. Because there was a great lapse in between, wasn't there, in Genesis 1 or 2. And the earth, she became formless and void. So something happened between that original creation. That would straighten out a lot of people's theology today, wouldn't it? If they would only let the Bible tell you what really happened there. How old the earth is, we do not know. Earth predates man by a lot. Because who inhabited the earth before? We have physical science, we have archaeological data. What inhabited the earth? In the original creation, yes, dinosaurs, all kinds of vegetation, all of this inhabited the earth. And then what happened to it? It was destroyed and just turned into a muddy chaos. Tohu wabohu. All right? And then it says, we ha'aretz hatya tohu wabohu. All right? And the earth, she became formless and void. And then God reconstructed the earth, and then God placed man on the earth, made from the same elements as the earth. From the same elements as the earth, basic elements. If you take your body and you took off a hand and just dehydrated it all down to dust, and you took those basic elements in that dust, you would find out the same elements as are in that dust that's in the dirt that you walk on. The same elements. We have all of these. What do we call that? We call this in physical science. You call it. It has a table of elements. A table of elements. Those basic elements. The table of basic elements. Okay. I had to memorize all that stuff one time. Now I don't know it. All right. I remember H2O. Now that's a pretty easy one to remember.
Well, they added some stuff since I was in school.
Well, even our water has something else in it.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just talking about the elements.
Yes. All right. All right. In the sweat of your nostrils, food until you're turning unto the earth, your relative, and from her kind you were taken. Second person masculine singular, Cal, perfect. Cal, perfect. You were taken because dust you are the same elements as. Dust you are the same elements as. And unto dust, you shall turn or become. You shall turn or become. Second person masculine singular, Cal, imperfect. You shall keep on becoming or keep on turning to that. You shall go to that. You have any questions? You got any more enlightening little things, Sharon? We started at 3:18 and we went to 3:18 and 19. No, 3:17, 18 and 19. All right, Brother Abe, did you learn something tonight? How enlightened were you tonight, Marilyn?
I was enlightened.
You were enlightened, weren't you? Did you learn something? How about Roger?
Yes.
Did it change your mind about the destruction and the curse of the land? Who cursed the mountain? Who cursed the ground?
Adam did.
Who infected us with death? Adam. He's the fault of it. Now, have you got Adam's nature? Do we have Adam's nature? Do you have it?
I think I'm worse.
You're worse than Adam.
Yeah.
I think I'm worse than Adam too. In some ways, at least. We all are, aren't we?
He didn't have
Adam's our father.
He didn't have as many ways to get in trouble.
He didn't have as many ways to get in trouble. But you know what? We don't know all what was back there to get in trouble. Man, he lived in paradise.
Got in trouble enough to pass it on.
Adam traded paradise for hell. Hell on earth. Adam traded paradise for hell. He did. Sweat and blood. He traded paradise for murder. He traded paradise for abuse. He traded paradise
Well, he wasn't
so his
thinking-
children could be.
He wasn't thinking of his coming relative.
No, I don't think so. But we are all relatives of Adam, aren't we? We're all relatives of the earth. And that curse is upon us. And that every time you go out and chop a weed, you can say, thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam. Because you did this, Adam. It wasn't God that cursed the ground. Adam cursed the ground. Who cursed the ground? Adam. Who cursed man? Adam. Who infected us with death? Adam. We do this to ourselves. Do we ever do this to our own selves? When we have before us life and death, choose life or death. We all got to die anyway. Choose life or death. I remember a movie that I really liked. It was called The Outlaw Josie Wales. You know, Josie Wales was forced into being an outlaw, wasn't he? A lot of those people were forced into being outlaws back then. You know, the James and the Youngers and the Daltons, these people really had good families, especially the Youngers and the James. Jesse James' father founded 5 missionary Baptist churches that are still in existence today. He was a missionary Baptist preacher. Frank and Jesse. Frank was a deacon. Jesse was going to be like a preacher. Oh, Frank was a deep thinker too. But after they rode with Quantrell in the Civil War, a death sentence was placed upon them and they couldn't live right again. The Youngers, Cole Younger, I've got a book, Cole Younger by Cole Younger, and he talks about all that. And his father had 7 farms. 7 big farms. His father was the postal agent to all of the area where he lived, to all the whole state. He had 7 great big farms. Each one of them where they had lots of livestock, and every 7 big farms or ranches had enough produce there and had enough people. And by the way, he was a northern sympathizer. He was not a southern sympathizer. He was traveling, carrying mail, and the Union troops stopped him and murdered him and took, I think, $2,500 cash that he had on him. Murdered him. And then began to burn all of his ranches down. And this is a man that's on their side. You know what happened to those boys? Cole and all them? Let's go to war. We can't have this. We're on the wrong side. Got to change sides. We see all of this. We see this in history. Man is evil to mankind, isn't he? Mankind will make slaves out of his own kind. Mankind will abuse each other. Mankind will... We see all the Old Testament, the law of Moses. A lot of the law of Moses kept trying to keep the rich from getting richer. And people, manipulation of the masses, that's what they'd like to do. When Cain was kicked out of the garden, what did he go out? And he said, you're going to be double cursed and you're going to have to work twice as hard as everybody else. And what did he do, Marilyn? What did he invent? Slavery. And thumbed his nose and shook his arm at God and said, I'll do it anyway, because now I got slaves to do my work. I can't handle this. And says God put a mark upon him. We're going to see all of this stuff there. Mankind is evil to mankind, isn't he? Mankind's wickedness to mankind. I told you about this morning. You weren't here this morning. So I got to just drop this on you a little bit. There were 2 great men in American history, politicians and leaders in American history, that were former slaves. One of them became a president. Who was that president? Who was that president? I kept saying this over and over for years.
Don't say anything.
Huh? Who was it now? Who was it there, Pamela? Who was the former slave that became president of the United States? Huh? Huh? Who was a man that was a former slave? He was a white man now. He's not black. He's a white slave. So slavery was white. There was a lot of white slavery in America. Matter of fact, there were more Indian slaves than anybody else, than any in the history of America. Who was it, Roger?
Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson. The vice president became president under Lincoln. Okay? Now, who was the other very famous, very, very famous man that was a former slave?
Did I say it?
No, not yet. Who was the other man? Very famous.
Yeah.
Very famous. A lot of you don't know this.
Surprised at that.
Benjamin. Huh? Come on.
Franklin.
Okay, Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin. He ran away. He was a slave. He was indentured, and he ran away. Okay? Andrew Johnson worked his slavery, worked his debt out. So he bought himself. All right? But mankind does that to mankind, doesn't he? Mankind wants to enslave mankind. Mankind wants to abuse mankind. And mankind wants to retire early. Isn't that right? So why? So you can live off the fat of the land and watch somebody else work for you. What is that? By the sweat of your nostrils you shall make your living. God, even before Adam sinned, gave him some work to do, didn't he? Take care of that garden and guard it. Evidently he wasn't doing a good enough job, was he? He got an F- that day, I can guarantee you.
Well, you just think about your body. You got 2 eyes to see, 2 hands to mix batter with, 2 legs to carry, and your feet to go down a row and
Mankind is wicked, desperately wicked, seeking which way he may go out astray all the time. All the time.
And you gotta-
Man cursed himself. God didn't curse man. Who cursed what?
So back here, when women got the curse of painful childbirth,
Yeah.
was that from God? When God said, multiplying, he said it to the woman,
hmm
multiplying.
In conceiving, you shall have pain. I think that's when women became virgins. Really,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
Okay.
You shall have pain, and you shall bring forth your children
In pain.
in pain.
Yeah. Before that, they didn't. Before that, they didn't. All right.
So, but that wasn't really God cursing her, he was just stating what.
That's what's going to happen. That's what's happened to your body.
This is what has changed.
This is what's happened to your
because of what
body.
you did. But
Your
that
body
was-
has now changed.
I always thought God, it was a curse, like a punishment.
Your body has now changed. Our bodies changed when we sinned, didn't we? Our bodies changed. We brought a lot upon ourselves, didn't we? But look at what civilization, look what mankind has done to mankind. Look how many princes have asked and demanded the lives of his people. Look at how many. Look how many people have died in this world fighting somebody else's wars. Sometimes we have to fight wars, don't we? Especially to protect ourselves. We have to fight wars. Wars are necessary sometimes to protect yourself. I remember there was a movie a few years ago about a man that was a Union soldier that went out on a post way out in the middle of Indian territory, all by himself. He went out there and he started living with these wild Indians, and he found out those wild Indians pretty civilized. You know, the wars that they fought were really for them, to protect them. There may be a time in America that we have to fight war on our own land to protect us from other people. We may have to do that. We may have to do that in not too many years. But what is it? Mankind being evil and wicked to other mankind. Using other mankind. So they can do what? Set back and point. Set back and point. Do this, do that, do this, do that. That's what Cain did, isn't it? That's the theology and the philosophy of Cain. You do this. You go sweat for me while somebody fans me. Isn't that what it was? All right. Well, I hope you learned something in this class tonight. Brother Roger, will you mind dismiss us in prayer, brother?
Father, thank you for bringing us together and so that we can hear your word and then discuss your word and take your